Mall of America. For more than 30 years, it has been a retail leader and an international destination, and it remains the largest mall in the U.S. Not to mention, it welcomes millions of guests from around the world. It's huge, but it's also so much more. In this podcast, you're going to hear the real stories of how it started and why it continues to thrive. You'll hear about challenges we faced along the way and what you can learn from them. We will feature guests and experts from all walks of life and business, and along the way, you'll laugh, learn, and maybe even change the way you look at things. So if you're a fan of the mall, a brand new visitor, an entrepreneur, or a dreamer, prepare to dive deep into so much more. This podcast is presented by the Bloomington Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Welcome to So Much More, our Mall of America podcast. I'm Jill Renslow, the Chief Business Development and Marketing Officer at Mall of America, and I'm joined by the one, the only, Dan Jasper, my co-host today. So hi, Dan.
Barbie.
Hi, Ken. A little teaser of what we're going to be talking about today. So we're super excited because we are talking about all things Barbie. As we all know, Barbie has taken the box office by storm this year, earning more than $1.3 billion. Barbie was also one of the hottest costumes this Halloween, and Barbie dolls are one of the top toys this holiday season. We've heard even the Barbie pink paint has ran out because of all things Barbie. So we had to get in on the hype. So recently we opened Malibu Barbie Café here at Mall of America. And joining us today is the team behind this concept. We have Carrie Charleston, who is our Vice President in Leasing here at Mall of America, and Derek Berry, who is the President of Experiences at Bucket Listers, who brought this concept to Minnesota and Mall of America. So let's get started. And Derek, welcome from California. This is our first podcast where we have our guest remote. We're super excited to bring Derek from across the country. We'd love to hear about how this collaboration with Barbie started and how you concepted the Malibu Barbie Cafe. So over to you in California.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I'm so glad to always be the first of something. So thanks for trusting me in this remote setting. Really sad I couldn't be there with you guys. Do love Mall of America. Had a hard time leaving when we opened. I felt like I was like living there for temporarily. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy how this all came together. So I like you said, I'm president of experiences at Bucket List. And since 2016, I've been doing this niche lane of throwing pop-up restaurants and dime theming experiences. And I did it basically until COVID with my last company, and that went under, and I joined Bucket List. And from there, I was able to really put these pop-ups we were doing on a way bigger platform than I ever imagined. So in my previous setting, this kind of took off with a Saved by the Bell pop-up, and that market really kind of blew up from there. Super fun, favorite show ever, can still beat anybody in trivia to this day if anybody wants to try. But I came over to Bucket List and we instantly launched a Golden Girls experience, and it really hit with their fan base and our fan base. And together we kind of just started doing some really fun stuff. And Mattel had reached out and said, hey, we came to your Golden Girls experience and your Blockbuster Speakeasy, which is another one we did. And would there ever be interest in working with Mattel? And instantly, obviously, we thought of Barbie. And the conversation started between us and Mattel of like, it'd be really cool to do this. Little did we know what was to come. So we really concept this whole idea of doing this Malibu Barbie Cafe. And within like a few days of probably getting the deal done with Mattel, they were like, by the way, it's really exciting news. We want to tell you there's a movie coming out. And I'm like, well, I have 2 daughters. I have 3 kids. 2 of them are daughters. I've seen every Barbie movie you're talking about. They all are. There's a ton on Netflix. There's a ton on Hulu. So it's like another one of those. Like, I don't know how it's really going to help. She's like, no. She took a really big, like live version coming with major people. And I'm like, okay, cool. In one ear and out the other. And we all are still really excited about it. Trailer drops. And I think we're all like, oh, wait, hold on. Like, this is going to be really big. And we, fast forward to getting Chicago, New York open, and it was a hit. And I think just around the time we were probably not even open yet, I think we just announced it. We heard from Carrie, right?
Right.
I'm not jumping too far. I don't think we were open yet. Started talking. Yeah. So, it really did have a viral moment. Like the most buzzword I try not to use, but it was viral. It really was everywhere when we announced this Barbie thing between the 2 cities. And we did it a couple days after the trailer dropped, and it really was just a big moment in time. And we connected with Carrie, and after those first 2 kind of almost really the first 3-4 months of them sold out the day we put them on sale, we were like, what is market number 3? It has to be super impactful. And, you know, we had people reaching out from all kinds of places around the United States. And we're like, oh, like, we'll get back to you once we get open. When Carrie reached out, we were all like, oh my gosh, like the Mall of America reached out. Like, hold on, maybe we can start talking market number 3 a little bit early here. So, you know, we opened the other 2 in New York and Chicago. They did really well. It was super fun and well received. And Mattel gave us the green light to start talking about market number 3. We'd already been talking to Carrie about it. And, you know, it kind of brings us to where we are today. It's been super fun. I feel like it's like a second ago, we had our first conversation, Carrie. And it was like, we blinked and then we were like hanging out at the opening night. We were like, okay, that happened in record time.
Yeah.
Love
Well,
awesome.
that's fantastic. And like you said, New York and Chicago were right in front of Mall of America. And that's thanks to Carrie, because you found this idea. And so tell us about how that happened. Because I think a lot of times people think that all these ideas just come to us and it just, you know, we find a space for them. But this was something that you discovered. So talk to us about that story.
Yeah, so we search and do a ton of research when we're looking for new brands to come in. We always love getting the best of the best experiences. So I was reading Forbes magazine and came across an article, and it was about bucket listers and that they had opened Golden Girls Experience and now opening Malibu Barbie Café in New York and then coming to Chicago. So Andy was quoted in the article, the CEO and co-founder of Bucket Listers. And so I reached out to Andy. I found his contact information and just reached out and said, you have to come to Mall of America. I have the absolute perfect opportunity for you, which never happens, right? It just, the timing was impeccable for the location that you're open right now. But anyway, so I reached out to Andy. He responded immediately and he said, let's chat. And then he sent, I think your whole team a Zoom link, and we got on a call, and it was not long after that here we are. It was so fun.
Yes. And for those that don't know, the location is right at the entrance of Nickelodeon Universe on the south side by Lego. And so it's just a great collaboration of brands and excitement and traffic. So Derek, for our listeners and our viewers, paint a picture of what the experience is all like. I mean, we all know Barbie. Barbie's been around for decades. Malibu Barbie, I think, entered the marketplace in the 1970s. Or I should say Barbie and Ken. We don't want to forget about Ken.
Right.
But walk us through what that immersive experience is for guests that walk into Malibu Barbie Cafe here at Mall of America.
I'm glad you said the word paint, because it reminded me of something I wanted to say. We were probably part of the pink paint shortage as well, opening our location. Honestly, like at this point, we're mixing colors to get to that pink that's gone. So I had to point that out. But, you know, it really is. It's kind of like whenever we're doing these pop-ups, there's a lot of noise in the market for dining. There's a lot of noise in the market for going to experiences, like, you know, anything, even with IP. It's like you could go to in any market. There's just something there. We wanted to figure out a hybrid of all of those, right? And it's kind of what we landed on with this model bucket list of like these themed dining experiences. I'm not, you know, we didn't create a themed dining experience. We just feel like we put our own touch on it. What is it missing? Where can we figure out things? So, you know, Malibu Barbie Cafe, you're walking in, it's all pink, but it's not Barbie core, which I learned is a thing. You know, originally we thought the whole thing would be Barbie core and all pink, right? And I think as we dove in a little bit further, you start to learn Malibu Barbie is its own brand. Like there's Barbie, but the Malibu side of it, people aren't just like, it's all pink and it's beach. It's like, it's really like 1970s retro, like, you know, Venice boardwalk vibe. And for us, we were like, got it. And that kind of gave us a different vision of like, let's make this thing feel beachy. Like, yes, there's like big pink moments and the whole exterior is massive and pink. And it, you know, it's so fun to walk and see. You know, the first time I entered Mall of America, coming to see this thing and it was already painted, I was like, oh my gosh. And I turned the corner, I was like, that is insane. Like, I was like, this is a really big statement piece. But you get inside and there's just like, there's little elements that as you're there, it feels authentic to being in Malibu. So, you know, boardwalk, hopscotch, a Malibu facing beach bus sign, little things like that. And then just even walking people through a really big, you know, history of the beach, Malibu Barbie in this kind of like museum setting we did. When you're in the main room, there's a massive, you know, if you're familiar with the space, it's huge, huge, huge print that makes you feel like you're in the beach, and a beach print. and, you know, boardwalk and lifeguard cheer. So again, we want people to feel like they're in Malibu. You know, we love being in Mall of America, but when you're here, it's like, whoa, wait, I am in this beach setting. You're there. And then, you know, the menu is done by Chef Becky Brown, who's an incredible chef. And for us, like, my point is there's so many experiences out there I've gone to that don't do food or like don't do it great. And, you know, we're not going to win a Michelin star for what we're doing, but we want the food to be good. So we had to get an executive chef who came in and was like, I'm going to put thought into this. So if you're in Malibu, what are you eating? You know, what are kids going to come in and enjoy? So it really is like you're hitting all 5 senses of loving Barbie. It's 90 minutes. It goes by super fast. We ask people to, you know, order their main entree in advance so they're not spending 15 minutes like looking at a menu, but instead they spend that 15 minutes running around and taking photos, like, you know, letting their kids skate in the back or visiting the retail area. So for us, it's like, what can we do to entertain the guests for that 90 minutes while they're there and just have a great time?
So I love it. And there's a lot of things in there that I want to unpack. So you talked about skating, you talked about food. So let's start with food. I think the secret ingredient that I loved to see was the glitter. So, and I know that, you know, a lot of us were at the grand opening. Your family joined the grand opening. It was fun to see your son roller skate or try to roller skate.
Yeah, he did not. He was not impeccable at it. He did happen to fall, but he was very graceful when he fell.
He was very graceful. I saw him and I didn't realize he saw me see him.
My granddaughter, Sutton, was there,
Yes.
5-year-old granddaughter, and her mom and her grandma. So 3 generations. And they had so much fun taking photos. And Sutton talks about to this day. She just is wild about Barbie. And that's all she wants for Christmas. And it's because of the Malibu Barbie Café.
So special. Carrie, talk about the opening. You were decked out in all pink, which I love. And Dan's really the only one wearing pink today. So I'm kind of feeling bad about that. But you had a fantastic outfit. We saw so many people in their pink, but talk about the grand opening and what was special for you.
Sure. The grand opening, by the way, Derek, was so much fun. And yes, I got into my Barbie. I was Barbified.
It looks great. You look great.
My pink beret, my pink sweater, which was really fun. But Derek, and you can comment on this too, literally everyone came in character. I mean, the little kids, the moms, the dad. I mean, it was amazing. So that was one of the most fun moments for me because everyone, it was just pure joy, smiles, and they're dressed up in their Barbie moments. That was probably the best. And then, of course, all of the, you know, the scenes where you can get a selfie or with a group of people and stuff like that. So it truly was a really fun experience.
What was your favorite food item that evening?
It was the smash burger. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite too. The grilled cheese and the smash burger is so good. I like the backpack I'll carry though. It's when you see people showing up in waves and all pink and having fun and smiles ear to ear and everyone's snapping photos every direction. You're like, okay, mission accomplished. Like that's what we hope for, you know? At Golden Girls, you don't really ever have the opportunity to say like everyone should wear pink. Like they don't really think to that. Like people are showing like floral prints and some people are dressing up as the characters, which is great. But at Barbie, really, you know, you look on Instagram and you look on TikTok, like everybody there is in pink. And like, that's what we hope. Like the whole experience was built around having fun. Barbie is all about great time, express yourself, you know, just be who you are, right? And we want people to come and just like let loose. If you don't normally wear pink, where you're gonna do it when you come in here and feel free like you can do it and have a great time.
And Derek, didn't you say that Minnesota really showed up in true form? Like I compared to like Chicago
It was
and
crazy.
New York.
Everybody was decked out. And I feel
I
like
love that.
that event especially too, everyone stayed to the end and just really like took it in, right? A lot of the other places, I think, people are like, oh, this is super fun. Like we had a great time in Minneapolis. And I think like even the press that was coming, like they weren't just like, hey, I'm in to record, I'm out. Like they would record and they're like, hey, can I hang out? You want to stay around for a little bit? This place is too fun. Like I don't just want to leave. So, I mean, we left feeling like mission accomplished and like, you know, just being around Nickelodeon Universe and all like the legendary places that have been there forever, even just the retail stores, and to be part of people's journey at Mall of America is just like, it's very special. Like I lived in Chicago for a long time, so I was coming there, and to have a business in Mall of America, it's like, you know, when I told people about it on Facebook, everyone was like, whoa, that is crazy. So, I mean, it is really a special moment for a bucket list. It was the first original experience we placed in Minneapolis. And now Bucket List as a company has really grown in Minneapolis based on that opening.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I want to go back to the roller rink because people didn't believe that that was going to be part of the restaurant. And even those of us internally, as we were looking at the build out, we're like, where are they going to put this? And then I think initially people were thinking ice rink because it's Minnesota.
Yep.
People were thinking ice, but we're like, no, there's going to be a roller skating rink. So how important was that element or just all these unique elements that you have as part of the cafe? It is an Instagrammable dream. I mean, there's photo ops everywhere. So talk a little bit about why you decided to have a roller skating rink included.
Yeah, when I saw the trailer for the Barbie movie and I saw them on skates, I was like, how fun would that be? Because you're always looking for something to entertain people. Like when you're going to charge them a premium price for a ticket, like, yes, you're giving them food, but they're normally like, and how are you going to entertain me now? Like, like once they get there, they're like, and now what do I do? Outside of eating. And the skating element was really fun to introduce. We're not like saying like, hey, you're going to come here and throw like a 50-person birthday skating party or like going to come here and like do like crazy tricks. But I think it's really fun for like children and people who want to take fun photos to jump on the skates there. And it was really important just for us. Like I've got 3 kids again. Like for me, that area is cool and fun enough that like before we eat, after we eat, while I'm eating, my wife can take them over there, and I think it was really important to pull in whatever elements of the movie we could in organic ways, and just, again, I think some of the most legendary Barbie toys my daughters have are the ones with the skates. So I instantly went there when we thought beach. I'm thinking like, okay, Barbies, rollerblading, skates.
It's done so well. It is so fantastic. And Grant or Dan, I almost called you Grant, our other host. You talked about generations. And I think that's what's unique about Barbie is it wasn't just at the opening where you saw the multiple generations enjoying the brand, but it's been around for, everybody has a story or a connection to Barbie. And so I'm very curious of, who we're seeing go into the space and that importance of the generational connection. And also, who is that target audience and who is showing up at Barbie? Because we're hearing so many different stories from so many different age ranges.
Yeah, I'll share a brief observation. I walk by the cafe frequently, almost on a daily basis here, and it's wonderful, this pink icon. And I frequently see guests about to enter, and they're more often than not, they are dressed up, multi-generational, and it's so fun to see. But the thing that I've noticed is that I've seen lately more of the younger girls dressed in professional Barbie in some of her different careers that she's had over the decades. And I thought that was awesome, right? I saw a Barbie nurse, and I saw a professional Barbie, and it was just like, this is cool. Not only is it a fun multi-generational aspect, but it empowers these girls to understand that, and part of what Barbie does, right? You can be
absolutely
anything you want to be.
Absolutely.
That. So what's interesting too, this is a pop-up and we haven't really done a lot of restaurant pop-ups in the past, but it's definitely a trend in our industry where brands are, taking a chance and an advantage of the moment in time. Obviously Barbie is super hot right now with the movie. But Carrie, talk to us about that trend in pop-ups and from a leasing perspective, how we need to have that flexibility in adjusting maybe how we've done deals in the past and how we look to them in the future and what your goal is in having pop-ups here at the mall.
Sure. So we always do a lot of research and then just looking around to see what the latest and greatest experience is. I mean, obviously at Mall of America, that's what we do. We want to provide the ultimate guest experience. And so when we look at pop-ups, we reach out to these new experiences that are coming out and looking at new technology, the innovation, whether it's like Malibu Barbie Café or even your Golden Girls, which we love as well, and see how we can bring them to Mall of America. Restaurant pop-ups are a little bit different because we don't always have the infrastructure and the space like we did for you guys. The timing of that was so ironic. So that was perfect in enabling a restaurant pop-up to actually just come in, paint the building pink, 16,000 square feet of pink, 2 levels, and create that ultimate experience. But we're always looking for the next latest and greatest thing. And we're seeing more and more pop-ups, both not only in the United States, but also internationally as well. We had a group I think a couple weeks ago from London, that same thing, they're looking at bringing in a new pop-up experience that is more all about games, like kids and games and all of the nostalgic games that we played as kids. So it's really fun and interesting to see how the trends are changing and continuing to evolve with that. And we'll keep looking too.
We love it. I mean, it keeps it fresh and
Right.
exciting for people to come back. And that's the secret to our success, is bringing those experiences and keeping something different here. And Derek, that's the world that you guys live in. I mean, you talk
know.
about all the different concepts, the IPs, the intellectual properties that you work with. You're constantly changing, which is exhausting, but exciting at the same time. So talk about the strategy at Bucket Listers of, as you're looking for new brands and do these pop-ups, and what you learn and how you move that forward, and what's important as you look at markets to go into.
Yep. I mean, we're definitely always moving. You know, we just announced a brand new activation yesterday for Mean Girls. It was really just kind of backtrack on what you said. It was based on a new film coming out. There's a film coming out on the musical. And for us, you know, when there's noise around an IP, it's always a little bit more excitement. And, you know, they can coexist so well together. So we've always wanted to do a Mean Girls pop-up. I just don't know that the timing was there. And with this film coming along, everyone just agreed, like, now is the time. You know, this is probably the right time to do it. So I think for us, when we're looking for IPs, it really comes down to, is there an anniversary? Is there a release? Is there something like timely that makes sense? Because sometimes you announce things, or I even see things and you're like, that's really random. I haven't thought of that thing in years. Or instead it's like, oh, right, it's the 25th anniversary of that. I lovely. And I think for us, you know, it's just, luckily we have these Los Angeles bucket lists, Minneapolis bucket lists, all these accounts we can do some market tests on and figure out kind of what the best ways to tour these ones. So our Family Guy experience right now, we were able to put some dark posts up in a bunch of our markets and really see who reacted the best. And so we're going to take this Family Guy mini golf course to New York early next year, just based on how everybody reacted to it. So, you know, a lot of that stuff comes with like strategic planning. And you know, now that we have this Minneapolis bucket list thing, we're already starting to test, like, what do we think could work there in the time to come.
So what
That's
have
awesome.
you loved the most about Mall of America? You guys took a chance on bringing your concept here. We hope it's not only the first, but we're hoping there's more to come. What have you noticed in this market that's been special?
Okay. Let's see. Well, a couple things.
Aside from working with a fabulous team
I
at
was
Mall of
about to say
America.
that was the first thing, is working with a lovely group of people like you guys. I mean, honestly, we work with like many operators just because we're in the space so much, and a lot of it's transactional. But from the time we met Carrie, there's check-ins, there's like things that are not even in her wheelhouse. And I'm like, hey, do you happen to know this? And it's like, someone's already on it for you. Don't worry about it. And for us, that goes super far, not just because we're already spread so thin, but because it's just like there's a trust when we leave town. And even though we have people operating there for us, like, we've got good people like you guys to lean back on. Other than that, I think it kind of goes hand in hand. Like, the people that have come in have just been so great and so lovely, and like really like happy that we're doing it there. You know, the mall already gets so much cool stuff. So I'm not saying like we're that unique, but people are just like that are coming to it are so happy about it. You know, we're getting a ton of like birthday stuff. I love to see people think of us that way. Like, that's pretty special if you want to celebrate your child's 10th birthday somewhere. You know, like, I pick and choose how I pick my kids' birthdays specific. So I think just, yeah, the people, it's been great. Like that Midwest charm. I miss it. You know, I'm on the West Coast. Not that it's not nice out here, but it's not the Midwest. So we're loving the people. And, you know, how like opening night was really like a very telling situation. Everybody in pink. So when I jump on Instagram and the social media and I see those things, it's just, it warms your heart. Like, all right, they got the assignment. This is perfect.
So if we have listeners and viewers that are interested in experiencing Malibu Barbie Cafe, what do they need to do?
Just jump on bucketlist.com. It'll redirect you where to go and buy your tickets. You get a main entree and side item, as well as 90 minutes at the activation with your tickets.
Carrie, Dan, what are your favorite elements of Malibu Barbie Cafe that people definitely need to check out when they dine there?
You know, I think it's all of the Instagrammable moments. You get to go upstairs, downstairs. You get to have so many fun experiences. And what I saw when I was there, it's like these dreams are coming true for like these young girls and boys. It's like they're having so much fun. It's like they're in the movie. They loved it.
Mm-hmm.
That was what most special for me.
Yeah, the two things that pop into my mind, there's a nice little gift shop right as you enter, and people love to grab a souvenir, something Barbie related, right? And then it's the roller rink. It's just fun. There's just energy surrounding it. So I love that.
I love it. So Derek, wrap us up with giving some advice to those that are listening and viewing this about entrepreneurs or people that have the spirit of looking at these pop-up concepts. It is definitely a trend in our industry. You guys have been doing an amazing job working with different partners, but any advice to those in the industry to get started in the space or what to kind of look forward to?
I've always just thought if you really think you have a great idea in this space, and you do the right research, then just really go for it. I think the biggest holdup is always, the licensing and then finding a venue. And if you're willing to you can get those. I think it's just about, it's cliche about believing in yourself, right? So my first pop-up, Saved by the Max, I was like, I want to do a Saved by the Bell pop-up. And everyone was like, well, what is that? And, we're going to do AC sliders. And, I was like, in my heart of hearts, this is a thing. And everyone is like, it's not a thing. And it was a thing, So I guess just believe in your idea, see it through, own it. And when people are telling you it's not a great idea, if you truly think it's a great idea, it's a great idea. And then just do the right research. Some of my biggest failures in the pop-up space was just because I thought it was a good idea and I didn't do the proper research, right? So with that proper research, just kind of make sure you've done your homework. But again, just if you think it's good and you believe in it, I think you can figure out the way to sell it.
I love it. I think we're going to have to take you on with some of that Saved by the Bell trivia because that was definitely, I was a fan growing up watching that show. So that's actually going to do it for today's episode of So Much More. We look forward to having everyone come check out Malibu Barbie Café at the south side of Mall of America at the entrance of Nickelodeon Universe. And hopefully we can talk Derek and his team and bringing more concepts to you here at Mall of America. We would love it. But that's going to do it. And please feel free to subscribe and keep watching So Much More. We love all of our fans. We have so much more to come. So thanks, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, Derek. Thanks.
Thanks, Derek.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of So Much More. If you want to hear more, be sure to subscribe to our podcast wherever you find your favorites, including Spotify, Apple, or Google Podcasts. And you can also watch a video cast on YouTube. Go to podcast.mallofamerica.com to leave a review, ask a question, or give us an idea for the show. Until next time, thanks for listening. So Much More is presented by the Bloomington Convention and Visitors Bureau, the official destination marketing organization for the city of Bloomington, Minnesota. Before your next trip to Mall of America, visit bloomingtonmn.org for answers to all your travel questions, deals and packages for hotel stays, and so much more.